Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and I want to welcome you to the Parson's Bench Workshop. So today I want to get started on a project for a friend of mine. He's a pastor of a church about an hour or so, 45 minutes from here. And so what I wanted to do is make a cross with their logo in it. But I'm going to make it out of African mahogany, and what I've done so far is just to plane it to smooth it up, and I've jointed one edge, and I'm getting ready to go to the bandsaw, and I want to re-saw this. This board is just over an inch thick, about 1 1/8 inches or so. So I want to re-saw it so that I can glue it together to get I need a wider panel for this cross. So what I want to do today is to simply re-saw it, and I'm going to try something a little bit different. I want to clamp it to my workbench and let it sit overnight and see if that will help with it warping and stuff. Because often when you re-saw it, because of the stress you're releasing and the moisture content, the differential between the outside and the inside, when you re-saw it, you can get some cupping and warping. At least those are the reasons I've heard. So there's a lot of different ways people try to combat that. I've never tried this clamping method, but I've heard of some people doing that. So we're going to give it a try. So come on along and join me for this project. Alright, these came out pretty well. Actually, what I want to do before I clamp them and let them sit overnight, I want to run them through the planer and get them down to the same thickness and even out the inside where I just cut. When I made my workbench, I did it with a split top so that I can remove this middle piece. And while I don't necessarily take it out a lot, times like this are why I did it. So these are the inside pieces when I cut it, so I've just laid it flat. So what I want to do is take these flat boards, and we're going to clamp them here and just leave this overnight. I've seen some people do this and they say that it helps keep it, the boards flat. I don't know. So we're going to try it. I guess I'll let you know. Alright, we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Okay, so I've had these clamped about 24 hours. So I want to unclamp them, and we're going to see how much warping we got. Warping is common. This may not take it all out, but hopefully it will make it much less and much easier to deal with. Alright, so far they're looking pretty good. Tell you what, those are probably as flat as I would be trying to get those. Alright, I like that clamping method. I clamped them to my workbench. I think I saw this tip from Jonathan Katz Moses, and he clipped the two outside, clamped the two outside faces together and let them dry that way. So anyway, yeah, I think we can pretty well move and glue these panels up. And once we get it glued, I'll clamp it, and I'll put a third clamp here in the middle. I'll take these F clamps and I'll put on each end right at that joint to hold those together. and that really then keeps it pretty flat on that joint. All right, we've had this panel gluing up for a little over 24 hours. So we can get it out of the clamps. See how it is. Other than being glued to the tape on the bottom side. I think it came out all right. Oh. So I'm going to try to scrape off some of this glue, and then I want to run it through the planer and just be sure that the two panels are perfectly flat. All I'm really trying to do is knock off some of that top layer of the glue here and any globs of glue, and then we're going to run it through the planer, and that'll finish it off. All right, I went ahead and finished out the blue painter's tape, and I did go ahead and attach the pattern to it. So the next thing we need to do is drill our pilot holes, and there's a couple of small areas I need to get into. So I'm actually going to use this attachment for my Dremel rotary tool. I've never used this before, but I got it for things just like this, so we're going to see how this works. All right, I think now we can get ready and we can start cutting this thing. Okay, we're going to begin cutting with a Pegasus Modified Geometry #1 blade. It's really thinner. It's a smaller blade than I would use on this material, but it's some really fine holes that I need to cut, and so I need a small blade, so hopefully this will work. And then after we cut the smaller holes, we'll get to a point that I can switch to the blade I would normally use on this. Alright, that came out pretty good. Cutting with this size blade is not my favorite thing to do. I find it hard sometimes to see where I've cut because it cuts such a small line. Alright, I think I can go to a little bit larger blade now. We're going to set that one aside just in case we need it. We're going to try a #3 blade. These are, this one here, I'll just go with it. It's a Pegasus Modified Geometry 3. Alright, we got the insides cut out now, just need to cut out the cross itself. All right, we certainly gotta clean it up. My lines on the pattern weren't real straight, so I was trying to straighten some of them as I went, but I'm gonna have to clean it up and straighten it up at the spindle sander. But I think it came out all right. All right, I did decide to use the Wax spray clear finish. All right, that's coat one. We'll let this dry for about a half hour and we'll do a couple more coats. Okay, so I got this cross project finished. I think it came out nice. Again, this is African Mahogany. And I've got 3 coats of clear spray finish on there. And then just to finish it, I glued a sawtooth picture hanger on the back. The screws and the nails are a little long, so I find just some super glue usually does pretty well with that. It's not very heavy. Anyway, so again, this will be a gift for a colleague and a friend of mine, just to say thank you for his ministry at the church where he is serving. But I do want to thank you for joining me on this little project. It was a fun little scroll saw project, and I hope that it will inspire you and encourage you to get out in your own shop and make your own sawdust. So I look forward to seeing you again next time.